Hola, buenos dias, bonjour, guten Morgen. That's all I have in those other languages. I am a Spanish teacher from Woodside High School, and my name is Rosemary Carpenter. Here you can see my information if you need to send me an email. And this presentation is called Desmos is for everyone. That is for French teachers, Spanish teachers, science teachers, math teachers even. Yeah, it was really invented for math teachers. But you know how language teachers are. We decided that, oh, we'd like to try that. And it has been so wonderful. I used it all last year when we were teaching on Zoom, and it was great. I could really see the student interactivity. So here is my information. This slideshow will be in the folder, so you'll be able to access it and all the links that are there available for you. So what are we going to do with this Desmos? So some of the advantages are monitoring student engagement. So we're going to monitor student engagement. We can gather feedback about student comprehension in real time. It shows us right there, then and there, what are the students typing. So I am even using this, not every day, but I am using this in our in-person classes in Newport News. You see the live responses to the questions. If someone is not completely paying attention, you can just say, hey, everybody, we are on slide 5 right now. And there's even a feature where you can actually hit only be on slide 5. It takes everybody to slide 5. You can create interesting and highly structured lessons, right, that don't have to use multiple sites. So sometimes people say, well, I could do the cards on Quizlet, or I can do this on Edpuzzle, or I could do that on Nearpod. Well, this is kind of like all of that combined and all in one place. And you have just one thing to look at. All right, let's move on. Spontaneity. It lets students and teachers be spontaneous. You can share answers or you can keep them private. And there's even an anonymized mode so that you can turn off the students' real names and it gives them names of mathematicians, since this was created for math. If you would like to see this in action, I am going to use Desmos in our discussion on what to do in the classroom when you have some behavior issues. So I'm going to have a kind of like you would in the chat, but instead of having a chat, we're going to put it in Desmos. Let me tell you that Desmos is completely free, completely free. So here's what it looks like when we're on the privacy mode. I'm going to show you some of the features, and then I'm going to show you how to open a Desmos, how to create a Desmos, and how to copy. That's the great thing. How to copy a Desmos that's already made, and you don't have to do any of the work. There are all kinds of fabulous activities and lessons already made for you. This is a screenshot of student work using the anonymize feature. And you can see over here, all the names are like Mina Reese or Etley Selberg. These are names of mathematicians. And so this was an activity where the students had to draw, they had to look at the sentence and draw the expression on their face. All the students put mad, irritated, and frustrated. And it gives me a list of who put what name. Now you can see it, if you can read this tiny little letters, it does have it on anonymized, and I'll show you those things. Now you can hover over the anonymous name and it will give you the student's real name. Log in, you're gonna give a class code, they're gonna log in, and that is gonna create a list, and those students will be saved as your class. I highly recommend the first time your students log in and ask them to use last name, comma, first name. That way they'll be in alphabetical order by last name. They can change that afterwards, but it's another step, and then not everybody does it. Good for differentiation, but some students were writing at the novice mid-level, but I have a young lady here who is obviously writing at a much higher level. She's writing novice high to intermediate low on a daily basis. So she knows that she should give me a little bit more. I love having the check-in at the end. How much of this did you understand? I have a strong understanding. I have a a basic understanding, or I think I need some more work. All right, so here is our summary, what this looks like. When you're using Desmos, you can see that Doris, this is the math name, is there on track, right? Isaac Newton is right here. He answered number 13, but he did not answer 15, 16. He got distracted, right? So we know that he has not answered or attempted to answer. If you leave, it lets you leave notes on each student, so you can give instant feedback. And that little triangle up in the corner tells me that Euclid has been left a message. Okay, I have left a message. The green corner shows that there's teacher feedback that has been left. Here it is with real students. I just blocked their names out. Student B has not started the activity. They might be absent that day, so they're not in there at all. Student C has joined the activity, but they haven't done anything. And then you can see student A and D, yes, they're going along and they're answering all the questions. All right, so let me show you right now. I'm going to share my screen. I'm just going to go to a plain tab, and up here in the top, you are going to type in desmos.com. Right, so you're at desmos.com. You're going over here to teacher sign up or browse activities, either one. If you haven't been there before, right, then you're going to sign up with your email. You're going to just sign up here. I'm going to agree to this and agree to this and sign up with Google. Now I'm not going to hit that because I already have an account. So I'm going to go ahead and click on browse activities. So once you have signed up with Google, it's going to take you to this screen right here. One of the important things is, like, how do I create my very first Desmos activity? So we are going to go to custom activities. So right here on this screen, I hit custom activities. And you see I have several custom activities created, but we're going to just go right here, new activity. So I hope you're doing this along with me, or you can hit pause on the video and do that. And we're going to just call it FLAVA sample and create this activity. There we go. There's really nothing here yet. All right. If I were doing this for my class, I would probably call it something like open-ended questions and then put the date right here. And then I'm going to hit this plus sign. It'll give me more screens. Maybe right at the beginning, you want to have a nice picture. Maybe we're doing colors. I'm just going to pick that one, and I'm going to have los colores. So maybe that's what my lesson is about. All right, and then here, we might tell a story in class, and then we might ask, ¿Qué color es la camisa? What color is the shirt? Right? And then the students are going to answer. So I am going to just put a text input box here. Over here on this left are where you can put different activities for the students to do. And a thing that I like to do is just say, answer the question your teacher asks. Right? And I might put that in the target language depending on the level. And now the students, the students are going to be able to type in this box here. Okay? You decide, do you want the students to see each other's answers or not? Right? If you don't want them to copy each other, then you could uncheck this. If it's something creative and you want them to feed off of each other and share ideas, then you click that. All right, a fast way to do this is if I have a whole bunch, I will click on these three dots and hit duplicate screen, duplicate screen, duplicate screen. Now I'm going to have a few questions. Let's look at it in preview. All right, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. Here's the picture. I might want to use a text box and put my objective and my target and my SOLs and all the stuff that your school wants you to put. All right, and then here, ask the question. And maybe the teacher asks, what color was Charlie's t-shirt. And all the students are going to write it was red or blue in the target language. What color shoes did he have? And you tell, right, whatever the color is. Maybe you're talking about football and you ask, what color are the Steelers, right? And you're going to say negro y amarillo, right? Black and yellow. All right, that's what it looks like on the students' part. So when you see the preview, this is what students will see. All right, how do I add that text? If I add text input, it adds it right there. And here is what, oh, I'm sorry, I don't want that. I want note. And so if I pick the thing I don't want, I'm going to delete that. Here's note, and I'm going to say objective. All right, I can tell the colors of items, or I can tell the colors of football teams. All right, so you're going to put whatever you want here. Let's look at that preview. There's what it looks like. Now, here's a little bit of the downside. You cannot change this font to be larger, not easily. Okay, so if you want something to be way cuter and you need a cute objective, then I could go to my Google Slides and do a snippet, right? Take a picture of the slide that has my objective on it and upload that file. Here is my target about murals. So now when I look at it, there it is, colors. And here's my target. I can write about murals, street art, and colors in Spanish. Okay. And then we may talk about things in class, and then you might ask a question, right? Dime 5 colores que puedes ver en el mural, right? Tell me 5 colors you can see in this mural. And you're showing the mural, and the kids are going to type on their Chromebooks, what colors can they see? All right. You will be able to see all of those answers as they're happening. So here we just have a bunch of blank questions. I suggest having 10 or 12 questions. So let me go ahead and duplicate. And now I might have something like, I want them to draw something. I'm going to tell them, draw a blue circle and a red square, right? So in order for them to draw, I add a sketch. Here it is right here, plain background, nothing on it. Okay, so on this plain background, if I hit preview, we can see here, this is their drawing tool. If I say draw a blue circle, right, there's my blue circle, and a red square. And the students, that's what they would do. And you can see the drawing tool is not going to be for great works of art, but you can see that and say, oh yes, they understood that I said blue circle and red square. Okay. They can undo it like that and redo it, or they could erase the whole thing. The Control-Z button also works just like it does on your Microsoft Word or other programs. All right, so there I might have a couple of drawing slides that I keep at the end. I could have this same slideshow over and over again and use that for many different lessons. All right, once you have your slideshow ready to go, we are going to hit publish. They can't use it until you publish it. And once you publish it, if you make changes, it will not show in theirs if you just make changes right here. So I'm going to show you that. I'm going to hit assign, and let me assign it to a class. I am going to assign it to my sandbox. I like to have a sandbox, but you can see here I have first, second, third, fourth, and seventh. Those are the classes that I teach. And I have one for world language teachers. All right, so I'm going to assign that. If I decide that I want to make changes, then I need to come into my sandbox here and unassign it. Yep, I want to unassign it. And then I can make some changes. I'm going to come up here and edit my activity. If I don't do that, the changes will not show up. Okay, so that is very important. If you take an activity from somebody else, what you should really do is, I'll go ahead and reassign this just so we save it. It will save, it'll just show up as unassigned. my advice is as soon as you take an activity from somebody else, you want to click copy and edit, just like you might do on a Google slide. So copy and edit, it's going to make a new copy. Here it is, copy of FLAVA sample 2. And now it's going to make a new one. The old one will still be there. Especially if you're working on something that you've already created, you do want to make a copy first, okay? From experience, I can tell you that that has been an issue. Okay, that's the basics. That's how to use it. There are all kinds of videos on YouTube of teachers showing themselves using Desmos. Okay, so I will share some of those with you at the end, and they'll be in the slideshow so that you can peruse those in your free time. All right, so we know we can see if the students are engaged or not. We know who's joined. We know who's attempting to answer and who's just sitting there pretending that they're answering. There are some activities here. You can make flashcards. Here's what it looks like on the teacher page. If the kids are, Euclid here got them all right. They're all green. Here's Karen. Karen has two green sets and the rest of them are orange. The orange ones mean she's not correct. So you could either send her a message, or you could say, I see a few people that have orange ones, or check your messages. I'm sending you a message in Desmos. See how many that you need to fix. Okay, so you can help them along in real time, or you could even, if you're in class, walk over to Karen and say, Karen, try slide 17 again, or try slide 5 again. All right, there are all kinds of blogs, groups, sharing. This is the best thing about Desmos, in my opinion, because I don't have to make all these fabulous things. I find fabulous things made by other teachers, and then I use them and modify them. That's what we do. There are Facebook groups for language teachers. So it's called Desmos for language teachers. There's Desmos for science. There's Desmos for educators. That's just kind of general and broad. But that Desmos for language teachers is a great resource, and I highly suggest joining that Facebook group. Using the reflection tool at the end. Now, a lot of these reflection tools I have gotten from other people's Desmos pages, right? They have them there, and I'm going to show you in a minute how do you copy that information and use that in your Desmos slideshow. You can see here, I can see what each person, how are they feeling about the lesson. Felix here is like right in the middle. Annie looks like she might need some help. I might want to go and talk to her individually during our next activity. And you can see these students down here are doing really well, but Annie might need some of my attention. There is a place also for them to write. Oh, I don't draw so well, so that wasn't my favorite part of the lesson. You get to know your students a little better. You will find that your students are very good about sharing what they like and what they don't like. And they really do appreciate when you say, oh, I really like that you gave us another option and we didn't have to draw. We could do something else instead. Really nice to look at their comments and making sure that you listen to what the students say and differentiate to help them learn in their own style. Here, I like the matching vocabulary. And I don't have a least favorite, so this person kind of liked everything. Okay, so let's see what this looks like when real students have done this activity. So this is my first period from last year. And you're going to see here's what the teacher sees. Okay, so when I click, whoops, sorry. All right, so I'm going to go past, it's showing me everybody's. So if I look at summary, I can see who's done their work here. Let me go ahead and click on the first skeleton that we drew. All right, so I can click on one student, and this says Se llama Bridget. So they gave her a name, and of course they wanted to give her hair, and you can see what each student drew. I can go through and see different students like this, go one by one, or I can just look like this and see that, this person right here did not understand the difference between blue and green. And if you want to take off points, then you can do that, right? If you're grading it. If it's for fun and for learning, then you might write them a message. So in order to write the student a message, I would click on this little lesson feedback bubble here, and I would maybe say verde equals green, right? And say whoever it was that was doing the speaking said blue t-shirt, okay? So I could put a little note here and hit send. And now when I look at the summary, I will see there is that little blue triangle that tells me that I left this student a note. I might do one Desmos over a 2-day period. That's okay. So here we can see all the answers. We can see what people wrote, right? We can see some used a highlighter, some circle it. And then I can even see the writing. So here's what different students wrote. They wrote paragraphs, or some just wrote a few lines, okay, about the movie that they saw, the video of Senior Woolley in a minute. The next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit fancier sample lesson. Suppose you're on this World Language Teachers Facebook and you see a cute lesson. So here's one that I made about clothing. It has a little bit of colors, and it goes with Senior Woolley's Es una ganga. So it's got a little bit of shopping in it and some clothes. So I am going to click on this link. It's going to open it up in a new tab. And you can see here is the activity. I'm going to click on Student Preview. This is a set that I made. I have my target here. It tells, I can tell what people or skeletons in this case are wearing, and I can listen and understand and comment on some prices. So I have my targets at the beginning. This slide here is their check-in. They can move the face around, right? They can make the eyes bigger or smaller. They can make the eyebrows, move them around to be whatever expression they want to be. Okay. I put some vocabulary on here. So we have some clothing words and then some patterns, you know, striped, polka dots, that sort of thing. This was for Spanish 2, by the way. This was not Spanish 1. And this is a set that I used last year when we were online, but I plan to use it this year in class, in person. So what I did here, and if you notice at the bottom, I hope you can see this, it says teacher moves. So teachers can write notes in here for other teachers, or you can write yourself notes. So that I used the wheel of names and would spin the wheel of names, and then each student would get a chance to make a comment, to tell what the skeleton's wearing, to give him a name, to describe him or her. They are going to use the pencil here and this drawing tool. So maybe tiene pelo corto y moreno. All right, so I'm going to give him a little bit of hair. And maybe the next student is then, we're going to spin the wheel again, tell us that he's wearing purple pants. And so I'm going to give Marco some purple pants, right? So each kid is drawing. This is what it looks like here as the student view. If you are the teacher looking at the summary, I can look at the teacher view and look at that. I can see all the skeletons, and we can tell that we could click on here. Se llama Bridget. They gave Bridget blue hair, una camisa negra y una falda roja y zapatos negros. All right. We can quickly look through all of these and see pretty much everybody got it. They gave her a black shirt, a red skirt, and black shoes. All right, we can see that not everybody here got the right answer. So this student right here gave Marco a green shirt. Or is this Bridget? Gave Bridget a green shirt and drew pants. Like they just drew their own thing. So you might make a comment over here. Dijo una camisa negra y falda roja. Right, so we might write that comment there and send that to the student. When we look at the summary now, you will be able to see that this student has a comment here. All right, so we will be able to tell, right, what comment was left on this slide, And we can see our comment right here. Verde equals green, and dijo una camisa negra y una falda roja, so that we will know that's what she was supposed to be wearing, a black shirt and a red skirt. You can see some students get very artistic, even with this pen that is not easy to draw with. All right, so I had a few skeletons. We did not use all the skeletons in each class. I'm going to show you here, this is where the matching. So we're going to find these vocabulary words. Pesadilla means nightmare. I'm going to pair that up. There it is. I'm going to move it out of the way. Closed. We're going to find cerrado. La camiseta, t-shirt. Abierto, yes, we're open. Tienda de ropa en la cerradura. All right, there are my vocabulary cards all matched up. Okay, on the teacher screen, I will be able to see, are those cards green or are they orange? Here's a couple of pieces of vocabulary that I thought the kids needed. This is something I shared. I shared this on the Desmos because it goes with Senor Woolley's Es una ganga. All right, and these activities are from Senor Woolley. So full disclosure, I did not make up this activity. This is copied and pasted from Senor Woolley's activities. He does not mind if you do that. He does not want us to sell it, but if you're giving it away for people to use that are using the site, that is perfectly fine. All right, so the kids are gonna just check here. Los fantasmas me dan miedo. Ghosts scare me. And maybe they say never. Okay, alturas me dan miedo. Sometimes, maybe. Okay, so they're going to click sometimes, always, sometimes, or never, right? What do they feel about these different arañas? Maybe I forgot. What is araña? Oh, there it is. Araña, spiders. If they're really afraid of spiders, yep, they're going to check that one. Okay, so that is just reading comprehension for them. Okay, here's an activity where they have to decide, does it make sense or not? So again, copied from Senor Woolley, you can take your worksheets now and put them on Desmos. Oh, here's the good thing I didn't tell you before. Suppose you have a couple of kids that are absent and they don't have the worksheets. If they're on Desmos, it doesn't matter, right? They're at home, they can log on whenever and get this activity done. So they're like, oh, it's a camiseta cuesta $5. A t-shirt costs $5. Oh yeah, that's a bargain. I'm going to circle that one. A plate of rice costs $10. Ooh, that's not a bargain. It's not a fair price. That's a robbery, right? That's a bad price. So they could do this activity from home. Then we watch the video together, and then they're going to answer some questions that I asked. They're going to mark on there. So you can see that you can adapt worksheets for that. Then I let them write. Okay, so they are writing and they are going to write in this text box here. You can see I put this picture here. If they click on it, it makes it large. Okay. I'm going to hit escape and it goes back small. Okay, so if they want it to be full screen, they can do that. All right, and see the whole picture. All right, so I promised you I would show you how to do the pacing. If we want everyone to be on slide 4 together, then I will click that and now everyone is on slide 4. So here's what it looks like for the students. They can only see slide 4 and they're going to do this matching right here. I can move this back and forth. So I can move this to other slides or I could extend it. All right, I'm going to stop the pacing altogether and show you, suppose you want the students to do slides 1 through 7. All right, so I'm going to restrict it to those slides. And then the students will only be able to scroll through those slides. It'll stop them there. They cannot go on. So this helps you control the pacing, helps you to keep students from, so they don't look ahead and do something that you haven't explained yet. Also helps if somebody's not focused, then you could put everybody on the same slide, right, to get everybody caught up. The next thing we're going to talk about is copying and pasting and modifying a lesson that already exists. You probably have questions like, Suppose I get a pre-made lesson here and I don't like all of the slides. Like, oh, I like your skeleton thing here. I thought that was really cute, but I don't use Senor Wooly. So what can I do? How can I fix that? We're going to go to the activity page here. And the first thing that you will do is hit copy and edit. So we're going to make a copy. Did I do it? My computer's thinking. So copy and edit. And so I don't want to have this thing. Oh, maybe I do want to have that, but I don't want to have this stuff about Senor Wooly. Well, you can hit X and delete that screen. Yeah, let's delete it. Sure. And so do I want that one? No, because we're not going to watch that video. I'm going to delete that screen. You probably wouldn't want these cards either because that's only about the movie. Delete the screen. Okay. We do want to keep the skeletons. Maybe you want to do something with this vocabulary. We're not going to watch the video. We'll delete the screen. All right. Maybe you are going to ask some questions, some open-ended questions. And so you're going to keep those here. If I'm using the video, they're watching the video, and after the video, I'm going to ask some basic true, false questions or really basic questions for Spanish 1, right? All about comprehensible input. Hay dos chicas o hay una chica en el video. Hay una chica or hay dos chicas. And they're going to write una chica or dos chicas. So we're going to delete what you don't want. Suppose you're going to say, well, I deleted all of that, but I want to add some of those other screens. I want to have a different check-in screen than what you have here. So maybe we come back to our Desmos. I'm gonna, I guess I have to push publish right now so that I can get out of here. I'm gonna hit publish. And now I'm gonna go to open my custom activities in a new link. So always I wanna save my custom activities or I wanna save collection. So I can add things to a collection. Let's say I have some French stuff. Let's see, what do I have here? Some check-in screens in French. So yeah, I like your skeletons, but I teach French. That's not going to help me to have all that Spanish stuff at the end. And my kids love Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. So I'm going to click on this in the student preview, and I'm going to click this little copy this screen, and I'm going to come back to my activity here, right? And I'm going to hit edit my activity. Here I am. I don't want this screen anymore. I'm going to get rid of that, delete it. And I am right there. I'm going to hit Control V, V for Victor, right? And paste that in there. So now here's a French screen here. I would also have to make sure that you change the directions that are in Spanish to your French or German. Yeah. So do I need to repeat that again? You can rewind, but let me show you again. I'll just take it out. I had already been over here to the check-in screens and I hit this little button right here that says copy this screen. I copy it, go to my activity. I want it to come after slide number 1. I'm going to hit Control V and there it is. Suppose I want one skeleton to be before the clothing. I can drag these around. Do you see there? So we can change the order of our slides simply by clicking on the slide, holding it down, and dragging it. All right, so that's good to know. You can change the order. On this, you can add additional icons, right? If you want to say you want some more categories there. All of these things are you can just edit everything that you want. I do want to hit publish because I want to save it, right? And then maybe it's called copy of, I would probably change that title because you don't want it in Spanish if you changed it to French. Okay, so I hope that helped. You're here in student preview. In student preview is where you can click through the slides that you have and hit copy the slide. If you're in the activity, that's also on student preview. let's go ahead and be in the edit mode. Right, so I can click on this and hit duplicate screen, or I can hit Control C, and then I can put it down here, Control V, and it's gonna pop up down there. So that same Control C, Control V, Control C for copying, and Control V for pasting. All right, back to our presentation. All right, we have all kinds of different activities that are going on here. This is my student star of the day. So you could have your student interview here. You could even interview all your students at the same time and they write their answers. That way, when they have to come up and speak, they might feel more comfortable. That's especially nice for Spanish 1. My Spanish 2s, I don't do that for them. Here's what it looks like, the preview. Student star, how do you feel? We're getting to know each other. I might ask for a volunteer, or I might say, hey, I'm going to wait and ask for a volunteer at the end. Who feels comfortable after you've written all of these? So they're going to write a complete sentence, tell their name, what name do they prefer, where are they from, how old are they, right? You can see I took all of these slides from a PowerPoint or a Google slide presentation. All right, so that's what I do there, all the way to the end. And after we actually do interview someone, I have a what do you remember? And then they write down, okay? They write down what do they remember? And I have my Super 7 verbs over here for them to use. If I have a game, I will put the site there and the code in here so that you don't have to say it a million times. It's on slide 17, right? They'll know, they can copy and paste it and go over there. And I might have some true false questions about the student of the day. Or if you're in a learning platform, like we're in Canvas in Newport News, then I put my true false questions in Canvas and in a Canvas quiz, and it automatically grades it for me. So that's nice. Okay. Language proficiency set. I have it in Spanish and French. So what this is talking about the proficiency levels so kids get used to knowing that, right, how are you feeling? Oh, let me go to student view so we don't see their answers. And I give them a demonstration using a sponge about how your brain soaks up knowledge. Again, you make this so that when they click on it, it's large, then they can read it, what's proficiency and what's performance. Right, and then I ask them some questions here, right, using language in real life. Guess where do you need to be in your proficiency level? And then I tell them, obviously I had it locked before that so that they didn't guess the right, didn't just look for the answer. All about proficiency here, and then kind of a summary slide. And then there's a part here. You can actually put the link to the video in here. And I went and found the videos on YouTube from ACFL, and then they're going to judge these people that are speaking English, and they're going to listen to the English and decide, are they novice, intermediate, or advanced? All right, so this is some of my extras for you. I know I said Desmos and some extras, so I have some slideshows already created for you. That's these two presentations right here, language proficiency set. There's one in Spanish and one in French. Sorry, German teachers. I did not have anybody to help me with the German. Polygraph is a game that's kind of like Who's It? And students can play in pairs or in teams of 4. And they have to ask questions, yes or no questions, to guess what is the thing we're talking about. So here's a polygraph right here. And I will also share in here a collection of polygraphs. So if I go to my collections here, you will see polygraphs, and I have this collection by Joe. There are 216 polygraphs in this collection. So I will share this collection to you, with you in the PowerPoint here, right here. Oh, sorry, right here, 216 polygraphs by Joe Kasemi, right? So right there, that will take you to it. We've already talked about how to modify and copy a slide. I have the directions in here with pictures. So if you prefer to have something to read and not listen to someone talking, then this is where you would go. On some of these, when you're saying, oh, I click on it, it doesn't do anything, the directions say to circle the one that says, or put an X on the chihuahua, that is how you feel, and then write in the box. So this is a French activity. So I hope that this has been helpful. I hope that you will give Desmos a try. You can use it with your comprehensible instruction. You can use it for practicing grammar using flashcards. You can use it for simple questions just to make sure that the kids are on board with what you're doing and that they're paying attention in class. Sometimes you might just say, we're on page 14 right now in the book. Everybody go to your Desmos, and on slide number 5, write page 14. You just pay it, see who's paying attention. So you can use it from the most basic, or you can get as complicated and fancy as you like. All right, okay, so thank you so much for coming to my presentation. This is my contact information. If you're looking for me on Facebook, it's Rosemary Carpenter and Moyers in parentheses, because that's my maiden name. Desmos for language teachers. I highly recommend that you sign up for that group. Let's see what else here. I have some more resources. So remember to access the slideshow so that you'll be able to click on and see Jody doing how to use the Woolly concept, and she's using Desmos, and how to use Desmos. She does a really short basic review. So if you want someone else to explain it to you, also some great story sets, and I put all my Senior Woolly sets here. There are many more out there, so go ahead and check that out on the Facebook group, and have a great time at FLAVA. Thank you for coming, and thank you for listening. Bye. Adios.